Well, actually, it's a big diverse city. The only difference is we don't have the gun violence because we don't have guns. That's a whole different story. I don't want to get into that with you. I have got into that before in America.
You got a knife problem. You got sword problems.
We have problems with
Aladdin.
We have problems with violent crime.
That was Nick Fuentes just absolutely making Piers look like an idiot. He's trying to compare. He's literally trying to compare London and Chicago, and saying Nick was talking about what the crime rates and the diversity in the city, and Piers was like, "Oh yeah, you know, like our violence is doing this." He says you have Aladdin, y'all have swords, you don't have guns. He said y'all banned all the guns, and now you got people running around with swords and knives and cars doing this to people. That's still not a good thing. It's the same groups of people doing it. That's the issue. This diversity seems to bring crime with it. That's the issue that they're addressing. And they have this whole big clip comparing the cities. We're going to dive into it here in just a second. But I'm Jared Wright. This is The Right Wing. Hit those buttons down below. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, turn your notifications on. I bring you content like this every single day so that you can see what people are saying, so that you can see all the things in the world. And you know, this interview is such a good one. This Nick and Piers, I'm bringing several videos out on this because there's so many good little clips to take from it and to talk to about and bring commentary into. So I hope you follow along. I hope that you join this channel, you join this page so that you can see what's going on in the world, because you genuinely do deserve that. You deserve to see what's being said, what the big name people, the newscasters, the politicians, the commentators, all of them, you deserve to know what they're saying, what they're doing. And I make it easy for you. But let's just dive into this clip right now.
From the same neighborhood, they drive up there and they mug people and attack people, and they destroy cars and destroy shops. We had the Festival of Lights a couple of weeks ago. It's supposed to be a family event, and they light up the trees, and they, you know, there's a big parade. I was in the parade one year, and you had a bunch of black people there shooting each other. 7 people shot, a 14-year-old killed in the Magnificent Mile. And I know there's a lot of black people that feel the same way about this. They say, we've lost control of the city, and we're looking for accountability. We have a lot of black people that are always outraged about racism, outraged about attitudes from white people, but they're never ashamed of some of these behaviors, never ashamed of some of the things that go on. And that's why I think there's a lot of negative attitudes these days.
I think this is a very important point to recognize, to understand. Nick is not saying all black people are bad. He never says that. That's the common misconception that gets thrown in people like Nick or my face, is that, oh, we just think all black people suck. That's not true. The issue is, if you have the IQ above 80, you can understand that there are some very interesting correlations between race and crime. Within Chicago, there's a very high population of black individuals, and they have a lot of crime, a lot of shootings, a lot of theft, especially within certain areas. Nick's saying, here's this nice Christmas event where they light the lights and the candles and the tree or whatever it may be. And it used to be fun. It was a parade, and it used to be safe and this big spectacle. And now you got, you know, gang violence where people are getting shot. That's a problem. It's destructive to civilization. You know, parades are great for civilization. It brings about this coherence as a group, as a nation, as a city, whatever it may be. It brings about like almost strength to me, and it shows that. But whenever you try to go to a parade and you have a bunch of people getting shot because of gang violence, specifically from the black population of the city, it destroys that. And Nick is saying that's a problem. We need to shut that down, and we need to address what is the racial issue. What is the racial thing that brings more crime with it? Why is that a correlation? And it's a strong correlation. It's not like, this is, you've heard 13% commit 60% of the murders. You've heard that before. That's a real statistic. That's a real fact. It's not something we're just, saying. Why is that? We have to address it and figure it out, because if we want to move forward as society, we have to figure out how all races can get together and work together, not be violent, and be beneficial for society. So that's kind of the point Nick is bringing up here and trying to get across to Piers.
And so Again, I think those attitudes, you say I'm a product of my environment. I am. And so are my parents and my grandparents. Unlike you, because you're not even American, in Chicago, we have to live in a big, diverse city where there's a lot of different kinds of people. And I think anybody in Chicago will tell you the same.
I live in London. It's one of the biggest and most diverse cities in the world.
But it's not the same.
Well, actually, it's a big, diverse city. The only difference is we don't have the gun violence because we don't have guns. That's a whole different story. I don't want to get into that with you. I have got into that before in America.
You got a knife problem. You got sword problems.
We have problems with
Aladdin.
We have problems with violent crime.
From the same neighborhood, they drive up.
He said, "You have Aladdin. That's what you have. You have a sword problem." And it's true. Like, you go to London, it is a very diverse city. I got to give it, it's not the same kind of violence as Chicago, but it is very violent in London. There's been a massive immigration stunt to just completely cover up London. And crime has went through the roof. SAs have went through ridiculously through the roof. Those charges. That's terrible to me. And there's a major correlation to the ethnicity, race of the people there. And that's what they're speaking to. So I do think that Piers has a small point, but not the point of Chicago. Chicago is one of the most dangerous cities in the entire United States. It is, it's bad there. Gun laws cause issues. There's so many issues that create this massive problem. Nick lives there. Nick lives in Chicago. He lives in a better part of Chicago, not the south side or the west side, as far as I know, at least. But he sees this stuff every single day. He sees the violence, and he sees what was a beautiful city being completely ran over. You look at New York, you look at Chicago 100 years ago, this was the pinnacle of America. Businessmen, civilization, strong, beautiful architecture. And sadly, it's both of them have been overran with the third world, with immigrants, with diversity. But this diversity never came across as beautiful. It came in the sense of Section 8 housing and crime. And that's just the truth. I'm not trying to offend you with it. Maybe I am, but that's just the truth. Why is that? And why is it that London has an Aladdin problem? It's true that knives are an issue there because they banned the guns. Well, now people do the same crimes with knives. Why are these crimes happening? Why is this correlation happening? This is the point we're trying to get across. And Nick presses Piers on it really well here and says, what's going on? This is why I think we need to have a talk about race. It's not that we say that we're supposed to get rid of them. No, that doesn't work. It's not feasible. It's not 100% feasible anywhere. We have to figure out how to take the next step forward and move forward as civilization. That's what I believe. That's my take. And I think that that's kind of what they get into here. So I'm Jared Wright. This is The Right Wing. I'm happy you came in today. Happy you watched the video. Hit all the buttons down below. I bring you commentary on these reactions, these takes all the time because you deserve to know. You deserve to see what's happening. You deserve to understand it. So I hope you follow along. I hope you join in. You like, you subscribe, and I hope you have a great day.